YWCA has a unique history and evolution as a social justice organization. At the heart of it is we are an organization that was founded by, for, and about women. And we are so proud of that really strong feminist root and that commitment to social justice and the voice and the role that women play in changing the world. We are incredibly proud of saying we are a part of a history that starts with an individual, their rights, their individuality, their value, their human dignity, and starting from there makes all of the work that we do in social justice that much more powerful. I wasn't born when the One Imperative was issued, but I believe it today, and I live it today. And that is something that can be passed on in so many different spaces. And we have seen examples of how that one imperative actually led to real change in some powerful ways.
I think at that time there was a transition in the Y from being a sort of staid, mostly white women's organization. And there was all this ferment going on in society and people wanting to be involved. I mean, some people wanted to flee from the changes that were happening, but there were others who were looking for opportunities to do that. There was I think also the inkling of the women's movement, and that was the right place to be. You either had to put on blinders or you could see what was happening in society. Make your choice. I chose to be active and try to do things. And I think by being involved with the Y, I also knew some people who were longtime activists. I think the women's movement happened and women's consciousness rose.
One of the founding mothers that we are kind of most proud of at the YWCA is Mrs. Helen Claytor. Such a matriarch for the organization, not just here in Grand Rapids as the first African-American board president of a local YWCA, but she was also in that space at YWCA USA, leading the charge as a chair, as a champion for all that the YWCA stands for.
I actually think that my mother's participation in the One Imperative was a lifelong process for her. The way it was expressed in my mother's life after she graduated was through her work, and a lot of her work was with the YWCA. She was offered a job in New York around that time, and she went to the national YWCA headquarters and began working in what later became their race relations department, which she founded. I think the One Imperative was very important then, it was important before then, and it's important well after.
I became involved because the National YWCA had said prior to our conference that they wanted local Ys to get young women involved. I had to help find and recruit them, and did so. And once that I started talking to them about the Y and the things that we should be doing that we wasn't doing, they got really involved and wanted to become a part of it. There were women from every state, basically, that was there. There was over 500 of us, Black women, who attended the conference. When the program manager was presenting the One Imperative, it was like you could hear a pin drop on the floor. When it was read and the motion was made and there was a second, well, then the conference floor went crazy.
I just remember watching Helen Claytor's face, having to listen to a parade of women saying, "Don't do this." And I just remember getting up, waiting in that line. And when I got to the front of the line, I called the question. I said, let's just vote. Let's just vote and see. It was a mix of being very still and people being very happy.
I can feel it now. I don't know how else I can say it. It was just so emotional.
Women's roles in racial justice are all. I don't know that there is one to identify. Wherever people come together To make change, women should be there. And in the area of racial justice, it is as allies, as accomplices, as activists, as supporters.
If we are all going to be successful, we need every brain and every head, every finger we can get to work together to create the kind of diversity that is needed for this country, because it takes all of us to run this country. The one imperative is this country.
Yes, it might make people uncomfortable, but we got to do it. And I think we can. I think we need leadership to do it, so lead on. Why?
The time is now. Today is the day. The future is female. Whatever quote that you want to use, today we have an opportunity to stand in that space to honor the work that Mrs. Claytor and so many others. We owe it to them to say we've taken on that mantle. We are not standing on your shoulders. We are actually lifting you up and standing underneath the work that you've done to carry that forward. And today we get to do that.